Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a trying new makeup, but I wanted to start off the video with my sidekicks. I know you guys want to see Roscoe as much as possible. To be honest, lugging his bowling ball body up here is quite the task. He is, how much does he weigh, Ian? Like 22 pounds?
Probably, yeah.
22, 23 pounds. He is, what, 15 weeks old? Yesterday. Yeah. Today's Saturday. Today, he's 15 weeks old, so I'm trying to show him on here as much as possible, but our guest is not being cooperative with looking at the camera, but hopefully you guys can see just how big he is. He is huge and growing like a weed, eating a ton of food, very busy. He's got naps and playtime to do, but I just want to show you guys him before we start the video. There's my baby. Okay, now that I've shown you the baby, I want to get into what I'm trying today. You guys have been requesting me to try this One Size Turn Up the Base BBB cream. I ordered this the second it launched, and then I had delays in my packages from Sephora, and then by the time I got it, my schedule was all thrown off. So I'm going to be putting this in a trying new makeup just because it's been out for, you know, a week or so. I'm a little bit behind. I also have the new Milk Makeup Mascara as well as the Natasha Denona I Need a Rose lipsticks. I had two palettes from Tom Ford that I purchased, and I haven't even really like shown you guys. I have the Eye Color Quad in Meta Lust, and then I also have the Lava Luster from Tom Ford. These are both from the Badass collection. This one has this really beautiful like 4 pans of really metallic shades, and then this one keeps selling out, but it's like a gorgeous cool toned neutral palette, so I thought we would play with that. I have some glosses from Buxom. I also have this beautiful blush from Valentino, and then I'll just throw some other things in as we go along, but I really want to focus in on that One Size you guys have been asking me about. Before we start on the makeup, shout out to Built Bar for sponsoring this portion of the video. You guys know my love for Built Bar. They are the best tasting protein bars I've ever tried, with amazing macros, high protein, low calorie, low sugar. They now have the puffs as a permanent option, which is so exciting. A lot of you guys have given me feedback that you really love the texture of the puffs. These are basically like a marshmallow covered in chocolate, but they have different flavors. So we have the coconut marshmallow. We also have the churro, which I feel like a lot of people really love. My personal favorite is banana cream pie. I'm a banana lover. These are super fluffy and lightweight, very much like a marshmallow, but they're covered in chocolate. The macros on these are great. 140 calories, 17 grams of protein, and 6 grams of sugar in the churro. So they really give you high protein, but they taste incredible with low calories. I am a huge fan of these. I eat them every day. I have a sweet tooth, so for me, this is something that I have to have every day to stay on track. And these really keep me full because of that high protein. If you're interested in all the flavors Built offers, definitely follow their social media. They do surprise drops, limited releases. They just did a white chocolate cookies and cream. I know a lot of people love white chocolate, so I will leave their socials down below. And if you want to pick up Built Puffs or Built Bars, I do have a discount code BabsBeauty10 that will save you 10% off your purchase. Highly recommend these. These are something that I just cannot be without. So I will link them down below. Thank you to Built for sponsoring this portion of the video, and let's go ahead and get into this trying new makeup. Okay, I had to get my bangs out of my face, but I want to start on an eye look, and I'm going to use either one or both of these Tom Ford quads. So these both came out in the Badass collection, and I purchased them off Beautylish, and then I got a notification that this one was back ordered quite a bit, like over a month, I want to say. So I just got this one in the past like couple weeks, whereas the other one I got immediately. So the first one is called Lava Luster, and this one has 4, I think, new formula, very glittery, glimmery shades. So this is what the shades look like. This was, I think, like right around holidays, so it kind of made sense. And I believe this is a new formula to Tom Ford. And then he came out with this other one, which I was more excited about, just because I feel like I could get a cohesive look with this one. And this one is called the Metal Lust. This one continues to just sell out, come back, sell out, come back. So people are really trying to get their hands on this, but let me swatch this one. So here are the the swatches for this one. I mean, it's a gorgeous, just cool toned, half matte, half shimmer palette. Feels really nice and pigmented. I know he has just come out with even more, like, I think cream formulas. He came out with the peach palette, which isn't getting the best reviews. So there's kind of been an influx of his palettes, but I thought that I would use these today. Really, there's not that many like exciting new palettes out right now. I feel like it's all about the complexion. So I'm gonna go in and start a look with this, what is it called? Metal Lust, and we'll see what we can do. So I'm gonna be doing this a little bit differently. I'm gonna start out with this shade. I'm gonna try it on a brush. The way I need to clean my brushes is actually like embarrassing. I'm getting low. All my favorite brushes are dirty. Your girl is struggling. So I'm going to apply this. I know I'm gonna get fallout. It's not a big deal because I'm doing my eyes first. But I'm gonna apply this kind of on the lid, just all over. This formula is a little bit flaky, but it is, you know, pretty intensely pigmented. So it's almost like there's glitter in it. It's like a really high shine metallic with a little bit of like glitter glimmer. I feel like we've had so many new releases come out recently that are exciting, but I feel like everything I'm loving is like sold out, and it's kind of annoying. Like all the products that I'm like, yes, like, oh, I love this. You know, it's like the Mario lip serums are sold out. The LYS concealer, a lot of the lighter shades are sold out. This palette is sold out. It's kind of frustrating when you find things you wanna, you know, rave about and your, you know, subs can't even pick it up. It's like, kind of makes me think like, should I even rave about this stuff? So I'm gonna take this lighter matte shade, just blend on the outside. I haven't really used matte shadows from Tom Ford just because the ones that I have tried have been like the wet dry formula where they're all almost like a baked gelée type of texture. So this is new to me. And I am gonna go over, you know, the crease area, so I know that we'll lose a little bit of that shine, but that's okay. I'm gonna take the deepest matte. I hope it's dark enough to do some sort of like smoky wing. And I'm gonna take a Sigma flat definer. So I use that brush to make the shape. I actually learned that from Judy. It's just so much easier. I mentioned her in another video. And then I take this tiny BK Beauty 208 just to sharpen up underneath. And then if it looks crazy, which usually it does, I just clean it up. So I'm not really worried about the point being, you know, perfect, because I just go in and just basically shape it with a wipe, and then if I need to add more, and that's why I do my eyes first, which is so weird because I never used to. This just works for me. If I mess up my eyebrows or anything that I need precise, I can just fix it much easier than if I had full makeup on that was set. It's really hard to clean things up, so it's so interesting how my makeup has changed. But this type of brush really does a good job at kind of doing that smoky effect. Now that I have my shape, I do want to go into this Lava Luster palette. I want to see if this shade would work. Yeah, it definitely would. So I'm going to take that light shade right here, and I'm just going to tap this on the lid. I really have found that I did that look with the M Cosmetics palette, and I kind of went off of the Judy's video that I linked. I can link her again, but I found that the way she does eyeshadow looks really beautiful and like effortless, but also it's easier. It's just easier, like a few steps and you're done. So I'm kind of living for that. So I just put that on there, and then I'm gonna go back in to this light matte shade and just add a little bit of dimension and sort of kind of clean up these outer corners. So just sort of soften this outer portion here. I just wet my brush. I want to see if I can really intensify right on the center of the lid. Although it really doesn't need it, but just to make it really sparkly. I went ahead and curled my lashes, and I want to try out this new Milk Makeup mascara. This is called the Rise Lifting and Lengthening Mascara. Curling and lengthening, 93% natural vegan mascara that lifts, lengthens, and gives weightless volume. The packaging is interesting because it has almost like a rubber casing on it. And then the wand is curved. I typically like a more volumizing wand, but we'll have to give this a try. It feels like a very dry formula just from pulling it out of the component. Yeah, it's definitely a drier formula. It's not super liquidy. So I'm really just wiggling at the base of my lashes. Okay, it's definitely giving me lift and length for sure. Looks pretty good, to be honest. That's one coat right there. So let's go in with a second coat. So I did 2 coats, and towards the end there, I'm getting clumping. So I'm just going in with a spoolie to try to kind of fan that out a little bit. So it's one of those that I don't think you want to layer too much. This is what the mascara looks like. I like it. I feel like it does give me length and it lifts, but I will say it doesn't really give me volume in the sense that I feel like my eyelashes look a little bit clumpy, like they're long, but there's not volume at the root. When I started to build on it, it started getting a little clumpy. I like my lashes to look a little bit more full overall, but I'll have to keep trying this out. Maybe it'd be one where I would do like a coat of this and then use a volumizing mascara to really kind of amp them up, but it definitely does what it says it's going to do. I just prefer more of a, voluminous look rather than just like long clumpy lashes. So I'm going to go ahead and start on my base now. I'll do my lashes here in a little bit. I think I'm going to use magnetic lashes. I really like magnetic lashes, but sometimes I feel like they don't last quite as long, but they're really nice for filming or if I need to take photos or something like that. So I'm just using my Naturium niacinamide gel cream. I just got another one of these. I've been through multiples. These are really, really nice, or this is really, really nice. It's like a gel moisturizer. It's really great if you have combo skin or oily skin. It gives you nice hydration, but it doesn't make you oily. For my T-zone, I am going to use my Vanish Airbrush Primer from Hourglass. I keep raving about this, but it really is a new favorite. I really haven't reached for another pore smoothing primer since I tried this. All right, so now let's finally get into what you guys have all been asking me for. This is the One Size Turn Up the Base BBB Cream. It's called the Beauty Blur Balm. Now, I've heard a lot of people love this. I've read some reviews that said it was horrible, so I'm really interested to try this. So this is described as a revolutionary blurring beauty balm that improves the appearance of skin texture with all-day hydration and comfortable wear, medium coverage, natural finish. For light medium coverage, use fingers. For medium coverage, use a brush. Medium to full coverage, use a beauty sponge. So I picked up medium 1 neutral, medium with neutral undertones. I really am having a hard time. I feel like I'm either going a little bit too dark or stuff is really light. Like I can't figure out what is gonna work. This is what the packaging looks like. And it's interesting because it's not a typical squeezy tube. You actually hit the side here and the product comes out on the side, which is something I really haven't seen. This is the texture of the foundation. It's pretty thick. It's not really moving much. I also have this sponge that's adorable from Base Blue Cosmetics. They sent me sponges in the past. They had like ghost sponges, which actually were really, really nice. They were cute, but very functional. Now we have this adorable penguin. I will say this feels a little bit more stiff, and I don't know if I'm gonna love that, but I'm gonna try it out anyways. So I'm gonna do a sponge on one side and a brush on the other. It says that a sponge would give you medium to full coverage, which is a little interesting because I would say a brush typically would, but we're just gonna go in. Okay, immediately it has almost like that powder finish. So when I say powder finish, it's almost like a self-setting. I don't think that dry skin would enjoy this. just upon applying it. So this is applied with a sponge. This sponge is okay. It's a little bit stiff, and I feel like because the shape, it's adorable, but it's kind of like hard to get in crevices. I'm gonna use a Lunar Beauty LBF 2 on the other side, and I wanna see, okay, so that's interesting because I am seeing what they're saying with lighter coverage. Let me get a little more out. Okay, maybe I just didn't have enough. I am seeing lighter coverage with a brush, which is interesting. I think I prefer it with, you know, the penguin sponge. So let's just go that route. All right, so here is the foundation applied. I would say it definitely is medium to full coverage. I do believe that I got more coverage with the sponge, which is sort of strange. It does feel like it's a cream to powder almost. You definitely can feel it, but it feels very whipped and mousse-like. It almost feels like a thicker, more moussey version of the Lawless Conceal the Deal. That one has almost like a self-setting powder feel, but that one's very liquidy. This one's more whipped and thick. I don't know how people with dry skin will feel about this. I'll have to see how powder goes over it. It just feels almost like I've set it, sort of. I could see it clinging to dry patches. I have a little bit of dryness and like a scar from a blemish, and I feel like it's clinging a little bit there. So that's something to note, but it looks good so far. How is this gonna wear? That's kind of what I wanna know. I don't have a brand new concealer, so I'm gonna be going in with the KVD Good Apple. Feel like this may be a better option than the LYS, just because this is, I would say, more of a full coverage, not as hydrating as the LYS. And because the one size is more matte, I wanna kind of stay in that wheelhouse. So I'm gonna attempt to use this penguin, but I don't know how efficient this will be. It's super cute. The ghost was really nice because it had a pointed end to really get in and blend. This one has like a little butt, like a little penguin butt. It's just kind of hard to get right in to those small areas. So I'm going in now with my Huda Beauty Pound Cake Powder. I want to see how this foundation sets because it almost feels like it is set. Is it going to play well with powder? So I'm just pressing in. So I did finish my brows and applied some Glamnetic lashes in the style Hottie, and then I did do a little bit of bronzer because I don't have a new one. I do feel like this is the type of foundation which I was a little worried about. Things don't blend as easily on because it has that soft powdery feel. It can get a little patchy, and I noticed as I'm wearing it, my pores started to show just a little bit. So I really want to see how this wears throughout the day, but I want to finish off the eyes. I'm going to go back in to the Tom Ford palette, and I'm just going to use the deep shade with a fluffy brush. I'm actually going to mix the two mattes here, and I just want to buff a little bit on the lower lash line. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this shimmery shade and I wanna put it on the lower lash line. And I did wet my brush. I just wanna put it sort of on the center here, or the inner corner. And then for the inner corner, I am gonna take this shade from the other quad that we put on the lid, and I just wanna put this right in the inner corner. So for blush, I have this Valentino one I bought, I think around Black Friday. This is the Eye to Cheek Blush and Shadow in the color 1. The packaging looks cute, but it feels very cheap. I know a lot of people were disappointed with the Valentino line in general. There goes the brush. This is supposed to be for your eyes or cheeks. I mean, to me, it's just a blush. I really purchased it because I thought that I would like the shade. Hopefully it's not too cool toned with what we have going on, but I want to try this out. I have not even tried this yet. And you guys know I'm a blush lover. So it definitely has some sort of like glow to it. It's not glitters, but I can see a little bit of like a radiance, and it definitely has that high-end like floral scent, which is not my favorite. This color is interesting because it has almost like a purple undertone. Okay, not sure how to feel about this color. It could just be with everything we have going on. I have noticed that the foundation, because it's neutral, it looks a little flat to me, but maybe it's just because I don't have everything finished. This color looks a little bruisey. It's not horrible, and I feel like once we get, you know, our lipstick on and everything, it'll be okay. I might go in with a little bit of this Dior. I think I actually am. This is the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow Blush. I love these, and this is in the color Coral, just to add maybe a little bit of warmth because I feel like it's just a little much. So I want to see if adding a little bit of this just brings it to life a little bit. These are so sheer that you have to like really build them up, but I love them. Okay, I really can't tell if that did anything. I do feel like maybe it added just a little bit of warmth. I wanna go in with a highlighter palette I've never tried. At least I can't remember trying it. It's not new, but this is the Sigma Beauty highlighting palette, and I really don't have any other new highlighters. The only thing about this is these all are leaning quite, I would say, cool toned, except for this shade, which is too deep for me. This is a gold, but looking at the shades up here, they look quite cool toned. They are swatching beautifully, but they're very like pink. So I think, which one did I swatch that looked the most, I guess, neutral? I would say it would be this shade, which I think is this one. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of that and highlight the face. So this formula is actually really nice. This is one of those like baked formulas that I like the baked gelée. I like this color in particular, although I don't know if I'm getting like a cast from the front. I just feel like the colors are all very pink, like these four right here. And I don't know if that's my favorite. I'm more, I guess, into like a neutral gold color. So I started using another lip liner, but the color I wasn't loving. So I'm gonna go in with my ABH lip liner in Cool Brown. So for lipstick, I picked up two of the new Natasha Denona I Need a Rose lipsticks. I got the shade Daphne, and I also picked up Peony. It's supposed to be a new formula, but I love her original formula. So the first shade here is Daphne. It's definitely a pink, but I feel like this is more on the warmer side, whereas Peony is a little bit more cool tone pink, and I know a lot of people probably wouldn't like this shade. It looks subtle when you swatch them, but Peony is definitely more pink. So I'm trying to figure out, I think I'm gonna start off with Daphne. So it's not translating as light, I think because of that lip liner, but I wanna try to add a little bit of Peony on top. It feels super creamy and hydrating. I like the formula. I love her original formula. Love it so much. It's very comfortable and long wear, pigmented. So I feel like because I put on a ton of that cool brown lip liner, it's not looking the same shade that it would, but I do like how it turned out. And then I have two glosses from Buxom. I'm not sure if this, actually I do think it would match only because we do have those kind of cool tone cheeks. So this is Dolly Glamorini. This one is a cool tone pink, very similar to the blush. So let's try this one out. The only thing I don't love about these really is the fact that I just feel like they're too sheer. Even though there is a little bit of pigment, I would have liked to see just a little bit more, because I feel like once I put that on, you know, you can't really see much color. I mean, it is pretty. These are very, very cooling on the lips, very comfortable. So I like this formula. I would just like to see a little bit more pigment. All right, guys, so here's my finished makeup look, trying new makeup, and I wanna give you my first impressions. I would say out of the two Tom Ford palettes I used, I would definitely recommend the Meadow Lust if you could ever get your hands on it. I love the color story in here. I just think it's beautiful. I like that there's two mattes, two shimmers, and I love the texture of the shimmers. They are metallics, but they have a just gorgeous like glitter glimmer to them, very pretty. And the mattes in here, I like the two shades that were chosen. I just feel like this would be a great option for every day, whether you wanted to really amp it up for night or or just do a daytime look, and I really love the color story. Of course, it's hard to get your hands on this, so if you can grab it, I would recommend it. I love the kind of neutral, cool tones that were chosen. The other palette, which is the Lava Luster, is really pretty. I don't know if I'm like wowed by it, only because I feel like you could get a similar look with the one I just talked about, unless you're someone that has a ton of mattes in your collection and you just want something to add some glimmer and sparkle. These are beautiful, but I just would rather have a palette with some mattes in it as well that I could complete a look with. But I do think this is pretty. I hope to see more of this type of formula come out in more of his palettes mixed with mattes. I'll have to try the Milk Makeup Mascara out a little bit more. I thought that it did what it claimed to do. It did give me length and it felt like it lifted my lashes, but it didn't really give me volume and it got clumpy pretty quickly. I would say it's more of a dry formula. So I think it does what it claims. I just typically prefer a volumizing mascara overall. The little sponge from Base Blue Cosmetics, super cute. Obviously it's adorable. It's a little bit large to do really any work around your brows or to do your concealer. So I would say this would be something that I would use only for foundation. And it really did blend everything nicely. It feels a little bit more firm, but it did blend my foundation very quickly and nicely. I just think that I prefer the Ghost Sponge just because I could use it for concealer as well. Moving on to the One Size BBB cream. I do think if you have oily skin that you'll probably enjoy this, or if you have combo skin. I don't know about dry skin. This has no luminosity to it. It is not dewy. It is very much like that whipped powder feel. I would agree that the coverage is medium buildable to full, and I do feel like my skin looks nice and smooth. I don't feel that it looks dry, although I noticed a little bit of grabbing in a dry area, so maybe heavily moisturized before. Curious to see how this wears. I felt like I had a little bit of issues with blending my bronzer on top, almost like it was lifting or patching a little bit, and in some of the reviews it said that it really was transferring. So I'm wondering if because it has that light whipped feel, if it's not really gonna like lock in and set down, let's say like a typical matte foundation. But first impression on this is I like it. I feel like my skin looks really nice and evened out, and it looks quite smooth. So I'm interested to see if this will hold on throughout the day. Now in terms of the Valentino blush, I like the finish of it in that it has a little bit of a glow, but it's not chunky glitter. I do feel this shade looks a little bit purple, almost going into like a bruised tone, although it could be just everything I mixed together. Could be that the foundation I used was quite neutral. So I'll have to keep trying this out. I do like the way my cheeks look after I applied the Dior with it. So it could just be that for this look, it was a little bit too cool toned, but I don't mind it. I don't think I would tell you to run out and spend the money on a Valentino blush. I just wanted to try it. The Sigma highlighting palette, I really like the formula, but I just wish there was a little bit more variation. I really like the way these apply. I mean, they're not chunky by any means, and they have that baked gelée texture that I really like. Very, very blinding. So I like the formula. I just wish it wasn't so pink toned overall. Not surprised that I'm enjoying the Natasha Denona I Need a Rose lipsticks. I love a pink lipstick, so these are all very pinky, rosy tones, and I really like her formula overall. I do feel like I used quite a cool toned lip liner, so I'll have to try these a little bit more, but I would say for me, I would probably wear Peony more just because I do love a pink lipstick. And the Buxom glosses, again, as I said, I love the formula. They smell really nice and minty. I really like everything about them, but I just wish they had a little bit more pigment because I feel like once I apply these, it really just looks like high shine gloss, and I would like a little bit more color. All right, guys, so that is everything for this trying new makeup. I feel like we didn't have that many products to use, but I know you guys really wanted to see the One Size, so I had to kind of fit it in with what I have on hand. I will link all the products down below that I used today if you're interested in checking them out. What did you think of this look? Have you tried any of these products? Have you liked them or did you not like them? I would love to know. Also, don't forget to check out Built Bar. I will link them at the top of my description box. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.